even Cam's injury from a couple of weeks ago, is this real or not? And no, I don't say that he was faking it, but I mean, like, is this significant enough to affect something that happens in the fall or not? And it looks like that's the or not, that he's back in the mix.
Yeah, and he didn't have a great practice today. Rainy day out here in New England, rainy in Boston, and he labored a bit. He was the least accurate of the three. Hoyer didn't throw much, so Mac Jones had a good practice, and Stidham was pretty accurate, and Cam, was a little bit erratic to the point where he was frustrated and kind of thrown off to the side. Now, is that rain? Is that thumb? Is that just Cam? Hard to say, but we're going to enter a period of time over the next 2 days with this mini camp where we're kind of watching how he throws, because this is a legitimate competition.
How's this? Walk me through what the competition is. I mean, what does it really look like? Or when you say competition, that it could be Stidham's gig, like week one, they re-signed Cam and they draft a quarterback in the first round for the first time since Bledsoe, and it could wind up being Jarrett Stidham anyway. Literally, is what you're saying.
The other guy.
Hoyer?
No, the other guy.
Who's the other guy?
Mac Jones. They are Agog. I used Agog and loggerheads. They are Agog.
Why? What do you mean?
He's just, the word is, the sense is that he is further along than any rookie quarterback they've had pass through the system, period, since 2000. He just gets what he's expected to do, and because he's shown this ability and the aptitude, they are putting a lot on him already in the passing camp and in the mini camp. They want to see how much he can handle so that when training camp begins, it can be a competition. Bill loves Cam Newton, and I think that Mac Jones has to win by knockout over everybody. He has to knock out Stidham. It has to be clear, and he would have to knock out Cam, and Cam would have to be an impediment to the offense working well. But Mac Jones has not the door wide open, but it sure isn't slammed shut on him.
Well, look, Tom, I mean, we know the stories. You know them as well as anybody, that when Brady came trotting out on the field after Mo Lewis blew up Bledsoe, that, we were all saying, well, that's the end of that. But many in New England were like, well, here comes a kid who had a better summer than anybody else. And so I totally believe that. But the reason why I kept on going to everybody but Mac Jones is that, is this really going to be Belichick's umpteenth season, and he's just going to start the rookie and do the just like what everybody else is, the ups and downs with a rookie quarterback, which we're assuming it's going to be because the Brady stuff only happens once in a lifetime. But of course, it would be very Belichick in New England if it's the second one. But walk me through that. Yeah,
one awesome quote from that week after Brady leapfrogged Damon Heward to become number 2 during training camp.
Right.
Was Belichick standing up, and there was some reporters saying, how come you're not going to go to Heward here? He's got more experience. You spent $3 million to sign him as a backup. And Belichick said, look, I just don't think I'm going to be standing here every single week talking about all the things that Tom Brady did wrong. And that stuck with me forever, because it wasn't about he's going to rip it up, he's going to do things that Bledsoe can't. It was just, look, he's not going to poop his pants out there. And if Mac Jones can show that aptitude, I think it's still a less than 20% chance, probably less than 15% chance that he's starting the opener. Believe me, I'm not trying to overstate it. I'm just saying there is going to be competition. It's not an anointment the way Bill has kind of indicated. And I think that the reason he keeps saying Cam's the starter is because he understands there's a question as to whether or not Cam can be the starter, because there are limitations to what he can do in the passing game.
No, I love this. This is so fascinating. If this kid starts the first game,
it's a complete rewind to 20 years ago. This is the greatest beat in professional sports history.
It really is amazing. And just having a front row seat of seeing Belichick at the crossroads is a stupid word for it, but I don't know what is the word for it. It could be
Autumn.
reboot. What's the word for it?
Call it autumn. Yeah, the reboot, the autumn. I mean, I've called it. Look, he had a 1.0 dynasty, 2000 to 2009. He had a 2.0 dynasty, 2010 to 2019. And really, this is a 3.0. Can he reboot it again? You're exactly right.
Well, because we've not seen New England with a first-round drafted quarterback coming off of a free agency season in which they spent $160 million in ownership of a third-place schedule. I mean, it really is something we have not seen in the Belichick era in New England. And just seeing it, does it seem to me, again, he does seem, I know he probably would blanch at the word revitalized, but this does seem to have energized him in a way.
I think he's into it. I think.
Right?
I think there was a fatigue with the Brady and Gronkowski thing. And look, Bill was spending second-round picks on Mohamed Sanu just to make sure you could milk everything. He was putting up with Josh Gordon and Antonio Brown and going to ownership and dealing with all that stuff because you just had to milk that cow as long as you could. And the cow's gone. It was a beautiful cow. It's elsewhere. Other people are getting the milk. But now he's got a new cow. These others are fresh.
I hear you.
I think that there's a lot to it that, it's different, it's new, his kids are with him. He's set for life in terms of his legacy and what he's doing. So I'm not saying he's doing it for, poops and giggles, but the heat is not necessarily on.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.